Hi, hello, and today I'm drawing the man, the myth, the legend, Serhei. Okay, this is the second member of my D&D party. One note before I go on to his backstory and stuff. New Capenna elves have horns. This takes place in New Capenna. There's a running joke with Serhei that his horns in his ears grow every time you draw him. I continued that joke because their horns, if you look at like the guidebook, their horns aren't as big, but his horns are that big because they grow every time you draw him until he can fly. Okay, on to his... Oh, for anyone who doesn't know, I'm doing a series where I'm drawing all the members of my D&D party, and I'm talking about their backstories, or what I'm allowed to say about their backstories public. I'm reading these for bullet points. Thank you so much, Leon, for letting me have some backstory so I can share with all of you the wonderful man, myth, legend himself, Serhei. I'm going to warn, I can't. Syllables are hard, and reading is hard, so this might be a little illegible, but I'm going to read his backstory. Serhei, so this starts with Serhei's parents, and then I'm going to just read it off as it is. Serhei's sorcerer dad, Mikhail, an evil tyrant with gold dragon ancestry, signs a generational pact with a raven-like great old one, so his children get powers because they didn't inherit the gold dragon ancestry. Mikhail gets the evil eldritch mask artifact. Serhei was very sick when he was an infant because of getting the eldritch powers shoved into him, and his parents' ages very old, making him vulnerable. The house Slukov, I'm so sorry, have many enemies in the nobility with other houses because of how hostile Mikhail is to other houses. Noble House Menchikov secretly plot against House Sokolov and orchestrate a peasant revolution against the House Sokolov and erase them from history forever. The House Sokolov is 98% dead except for Serhei and Anastasia, the equivalent of 8-year-old human and 21-year-old human respectively. They get displaced into House Miskov, and as a last resort, where Serhei meets Nikolai, same age. Serhei was dissociated the whole time and ended up forgetting the massacre. Helping the erasure of House Sokolov from history, Anastasia was silenced through death threats. Years passed, and Nikolai is finally named Count and appoints Serhei as his personal doctor and eventually head of the royal medical household. And Nikolai asked Serhei to find the lost evil eldritch mask artifact because it was lost in the massacre. And he eventually finds it after years of research. He is aware that it's evil, and when he finds it, he feels a weird energy connection emanating, and he gets extremely sick from being around it, but he brushes it off and gives it to Nikolai. Nikolai puts it on, and his facade begins to break. He becomes more controlling and authoritarian. An asshole. That's what we're saying. That's too many syllables for too late at night. But Serhei sees it as normal and accepts it critically, as he was taught when he was younger to unquestionably obey authority no matter what. And over time, Nikolai would begin to be way more violent, and just evil is more of his true colors show. Serhei eventually meets a guard called Ivan, and he develops a very close relationship. Oh my god, they were roommates. That's in the backstory written, by the way. And Ivan was actually pretty aware of how abusive Nikolai was, and he tells Serhei they should leave the place and live on their own, how much of a tyrant Nikolai was, and Serhei would agree and trust. Ivan dies from illness. Serhei falls into a deeper depression, and he depends on Nikolai more, especially since he's one of the only one who provides him with food through servants, a salary, and a place to stay in. Mental illness shows through black limbs and stuff after Ivan's death, he's confused. It's trauma symbolism. So those are the black gradients on him, on his ears. You can only see it on his ears and his horns, but symbolism. So, okay, in New Capenna, there's only really the city and in our kind of homebrewed New Capenna, there's a couple other civilizations, but there was the Phyrexian invasion, which were like these aliens from another astral sea, and they attacked the planet that New Capenna's on. And there's only, again, in the original two New Capenna, there's only New Capenna left. But in our homebrewy New Capenna, there's a couple other civilizations that are still left, and some biomes that are still left. But this happens, Phyrexian invasion. With most of the land now destroyed, the High Elves, even more tight-knit and immigrate to a faraway land to settle far away from the non-elves. Their society is very unstable, and they're all incredibly desperate, leading Nikolai to set up and tell them that he would save their society if he let them be their leader. With serhei as his yes man, and out of desperation, they let him guide them. And Konsikovia was created. As a high elf-centric nation built off the reigns of the pre-Phyrexian invasion, elven monarchy with Nikolai as their ruler, they tend to portray non-elves as evil and how they'll never lend them a helping hand in their most desperate times. Meanwhile, Nikolai came here to save them. Nikolai is even worse and is actively abusive towards his associates and servants, and now that he can get away with it, even more as most of them see him as their savior, and his way of discipline is good. They're all basically brainwashed, and Nikolai is basically a cult leader, especially with the Great Old One's power leading him to have even more control of the warlocks under that patron, and with sometimes even manipulating people into signing the patron's pact, turning them into warlocks. Now that none of them see non-elves as people, Nikolai sent out serhei of... I put an L in there. I'm so sorry, Leon. This is a butcher. This is a murder show for words. To study them like zoo animals, leading serhei to eventually meet the New Capenna party. Okay. Yeah, that's the story. That kind of gives you a sense of his personality. He's very reserved. Always has his nose sticked in a book. He's just a little gay old man. I love serhei. He is so fucking funny to me. Mostly via making him suffer. I only really have the old campaign. Soon I'll have the new campaign, and I'm really excited for that. But Stella, because the way Stella is, she really makes serhei suffer because she's just so energetic and so oblivious to... Like, he's upset with her, it goes straight over her head. It's gone. He also has and he's not really that close to anybody. I know he does have like an enemies almost, or it is basically enemies, where the whole party has agreed that him and are gonna... Anyway, yeah, Sir Faust is a very popular ship between all of us. It's basically real. In the Minecraft server that exists, they're married, and I think it's very cute, and I love it. Anyway, he's just silly. I only have stories from the old campaign of him being silly. Next week, I will have stories of him being silly in the new campaign, and I'm so excited. But like in the old campaign, this is around Christmas time. Stella wanted him to dress up as a Christmas elf because she thought that all elves could talk to Santa, because she believes in Santa, because she saw a bunch of Santa ads, and when she found out what Santa was because of her amnesia, she just believed it, and she really liked the idea of Santa a lot, and so she ripped up all of his clothes and made him wear an elf costume. And was trying to get him to tell her like where his sister was, so that she could get her to go get Santa. Anyway, It's so funny. It was so funny. I can't wait to do that again. To just... There's also a time where it was just Stella and serhei, and that was probably another really good one. This is technically a spoiler for the new campaign, but we are most likely going to a Waffle House. That's really all I know, is that we are going to a Waffle House. I cannot wait for serhei to have to experience a Waffle House. He's gonna hate it, and I'm gonna love him hating it. He's the kind of character where, because he's kind of a penis. He's very non-elf racist, but because he's studying, he can't be extremely non-elf racist. I think he's called specifically Faust some slurs in the old campaign because he's not a good person. I think he did improve, but he doesn't start obviously as a good person. He's an elf. I don't know how to explain it other than he's an elf. I don't know. I'm really excited. serhei he's probably my favorite to watch. I have a thing where I like people watching. This kind of extends to D&D because I like seeing people's characters develop, and I like people watching, which sounds weird, but there are places that I want to go just because I want to see the crazy people. I want to go, or not crazy, I want to go to a furry convention and play bingo on, oh, this person's way too drunk. Ka-ching! And then if I get a bingo, I don't know, I'll buy myself I know you're supposed to get money, but I'll probably just buy myself something, a candy bar for getting a bingo. Because that sounds so much fun to me. Or doing it at an anime convention. Ba-ding! At an anime convention, I'd actually have a lot of fun. Because I'd probably go buy myself some Dungeon Meshi and Sailor Moon stuff. But other than that, it just... Anyway, I hope you guys like serhei. I hope you guys like this drawing. I'm really excited for the new campaign. I'm just so excited. I can't even explain how excited I am. I can't wait. I can't wait to tell you guys about it a little bit. Obviously not too much, because that would be too much, but I can't wait to tell you guys what happened, or what's going on, or who Stella meets, and what's gonna happen, or not what's gonna happen, but what happened, and what shenanigans did everybody get up to in these videos. Per video, I will particularly focus on each character, but I will be updating you on serhei shenanigans because everybody needs to know about serhei shenanigans. Alright, if you guys like the art, you can subscribe. If you are subscribed, comment to boost this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye!